neutrality in facilitation. When I first started facilitating meetings properly, I don't mean, being the lead developer and taking people through technical designs and things. I mean, taking a team through a structured approach to deliver a goal. I found myself in the content. I found myself joining the discussion. If it was planning, how do we solve this? And invariably, the facilitation suffered. The purpose of a facilitator is very simple. Keep people's attention on what matters. Okay? Make sure everybody has an opportunity to speak. In my early days as a facilitator, I probably failed at both because I didn't stay neutral to the content. Hi, my name is John McFadyen. I'm a certified Scrum trainer with Scrum Alliance. I'm a managing partner at Agile Centre, and I've been in the Scrum and Agile world for over 20 years now. So how did I improve as a facilitator? And I've got enough of an ego to say, yes, I have improved over 20 years. If I hadn't, it'd be more worrying, just through practice, if nothing else. But the trick was recognizing that to facilitate the meeting, to make sure that everybody had an opportunity to speak, that you gave people the space to be heard, and that people were on track, meant that I, as the facilitator, couldn't be in the conversation. This sounds really easy. This is something that lots of Scrum Masters I've worked with, they're like, yeah, it's fine. Okay, you care about these people. You care about this work. If you are part of that team, you care about the team succeeding. Or at least I hope you do. Just from professional pride, if nothing else. You want this to be a good meeting. You want them to come up with good answers. And that makes it tough, especially if you know the job. When I moved into Scrum Mastery, I was still a developer. I was still, very often, the lead developer. I knew better than the people in my team how to solve the problems. And I found, after quite a bit of trying, the obvious answer. Don't facilitate things you need to be in the conversation for. I would love to say it was genius. I would love to say it was anything other than blindingly obvious and simple. But it worked, and it worked incredibly well. So when we were talking about technical things, when we were talking about things particularly in my area of expertise, I didn't facilitate. We had a way within the team to decide who would facilitate, but it didn't have to be me. Even as the Scrum Master, as the person who can be called upon to facilitate the meetings, we worked out it was better if John didn't facilitate everything. Because some stuff John needs to be in the meeting for. And we lack a facilitator if he's also meant to be doing that. And that's bad. So this was really what made me think about that neutrality, was the meetings that I'm in that somebody else facilitates go better. We are more likely to get to the point quicker. We are more likely to hear everybody's voice because, as I'm sure you've had in some meetings, hotter heads can reign and nobody's there worrying about the person who's quiet. The facilitator is. This is their role. This is their job in that situation, is maybe calm the voices a bit, but also draw in and say, did you have something to say? We haven't heard from you a while, but you look like you've got something to say. Whatever it is to draw them in, to hear what they've said. And what I found over the years is the less involved in the content I am, the easier it is to maintain neutrality and the better the meeting becomes. It does have a few obstacles. Because and nowadays I wouldn't really claim to be technical. I can still talk tech, but nobody's going to pay me to write code. They're talking about something that I don't understand at all, as has happened quite a lot. I don't know if they're on track. I don't know if they're talking about the thing in the agenda that we're meant to be talking about, or if they've wandered down a rabbit hole that was bright and shiny, as developers can and do. And I found a wonderful way to find out. I asked them. Again, blindingly simple. I don't have to know everything. I don't have to know what they're talking about. All I have to do is recognize that they're talking about a thing that I don't understand to be the agenda. And then I can just ask, this sounds like a really important conversation, but is it the conversation we're meant to be having? And do you know what they say? Yes or no. And when they say no, there's very often that realization of, oh, no, can you give us 2 minutes? We just need to finish this point. Or, okay, this is turning into quite a big thing. Fine, let's schedule something later and deal with it then. But let's get back on track. I've never had anybody say, no, it's not, but we're going to stay here anyway. Unless it has been for a really good reason that they can articulate as a team. Many people, when I'm training, when I'm working with them, they're worried about the minority, the exceptions, the people who may not even be in their organization. Oh, what happens if somebody does this? What happens if somebody does that? Most people that you work with are decent people. They want to get a good job done. They want to get out of that meeting as quickly as possible. When we're neutral, when we as facilitators are people who are holding a space for others to explore content, for others to achieve a purpose, they can get out of that door faster. They can get on to doing the work. Not that the meeting isn't the work, but it should be limited to just the work. So neutrality in facilitation is a tricky one. My history with it has been somewhat spotted, though I would say today it's far easier to stay neutral in many of the conversations, not because I don't care, but because I know that being neutral is better for the team, is better for the meeting, is going to lead to a better outcome faster. And ultimately, that's what we want to do as facilitators.